Grand Rising, beautiful souls, divine here. Just went through a heavy emotional releasing process with many, many tears. And during that is why I wanted to make the documentation of this video. I thought I was going to be in those tears when I made this video, so I wasn't even sure if it was going to be a posted video. But I read the angel number to the time before starting the video, and I guess it calmed me down, giving me a different sense of reflection. So the time of day that I picked up my phone to make this video was 6:56 a.m. Mountain Time, Colorado. I'm in the town of Aurora, just outside of Denver. Or maybe I'm in Denver now and I was in Aurora yesterday. I can't remember for sure. But I am back at the same Planet Fitness that I spent the night at the night before. Yeah, it's been snowing the past couple days. Yesterday's snow melted, but today's snow is kind of thick to the ground. So with my tires, I'm not in a hurry to drive anywhere. Today is February the 12th, and it is the day of the full moon. So I know that was my full moon emotional release that I just went through. I was going through a heavy download. It started with me missing my son, and then I started thinking about relationships, and then I started thinking about my relationship patterns, and then I expanded on that about the human existence's relationship patterns. And this is something that I've been studying for a long time, and I would love to make a class for this of understanding. I guess it would be more like a discussion board, but I still have to figure out the semantics of which direction I'd want to go with it. Because I know once I open that can of worms or Pandora's box to the healing concept of relationships and the male and female aspect, it's gonna blow up. It's just gonna blow up like mad crazy. So it'll be like putting a selected group of individuals together to have this kind of conversation. If it's going to turn into I'm sure it'll turn into a healing class, because that happens every time I have a discussion with a male energy archetype person in a human body, still learning how to process what these emotions are that go through our body on a constant basis. And sometimes it's very hard to differentiate between the human experience to who we actually are and what we're here to do and what we came here to be. And when I interact with other people, I have to, or I found that, not that I have to, because we don't have to do anything. I found that if I do a small dose of human interaction and then I take time to come back to a personal reflection, I can go deeper into different levels of it, because I take my personal self out of the equation and just leave the female energy of understanding, if that makes sense. Please comment and let me know if you understand what I'm trying to say. I really love feedback more than anything, especially with the studies that or observations that I've been doing now over the past 4 years since my second husband left me. My first husband passed away, and that's what brought on all of this reflection and wanting to understand, because like when I was going through the download, and one of my I get obsessed with playing with my hair. I just washed it yesterday, so it's like silky soft. When I go into these downloads and I go into these reflections and I feel all the processes of emotions, it's like feeling an infinite amount of emotions in layers. Like they're all interconnected, but they're all separate. It's like walking on stairs, but they're so close together that you feel like the ground is flat. But you're not actually going up a hill, because it's not a smooth traction. It's like a paper. The layers are so thin because they go together so well. Or I should say, they're so used to overlapping in that way that we don't even realize that we're going through so many different processes at once. We just put it together as a whole thing, but in that one emotion, you have all these layers of emotions. And for us to overanalyze, we generally become overwhelmed with thoughts and processes. I've been doing my smoke cleansing all morning. That's why I didn't start with it right away. Ooh. I love it when that happens. Oh my word. Hold on. I need to get my dish before I try to blow it out so it doesn't go all over the place. Whoop, there it goes. Still landing on my pants. Damn it. There we go. I hope it didn't burn a hole. I literally just bought these 2 days ago. Well, no, 2 weeks ago. I started wearing them 2 days ago. Yeah, they were like not the kind of sweatpants I wanted to buy, because they're like a cotton poly blend, and I usually only wear cotton. That's another tidbit about things in life. Wow, it's already been 8 minutes. Wear natural fiber clothes. It makes the connection easier. It opens it up. Because natural fibers or organic fibers, because poly is not polyester, rayon, those are synthetics. Okay, those what do they call them? Micros something or other that they use for bedding and stuff. That's synthetics. You don't get as well as a connected sleep or energy flow when you wear synthetics, or you cover yourself in the synthetics. They kind of block your ethereal energies. See, I get so obsessed with this, and it burns so freaking good. Yeah, because sometimes I burn in my dish, I get a little caught. I like to collect different burnables, herbs, different tree branches or whatever. Like, I just got this little bush of pine, so I like to put it in there sometimes, but I don't want to get it over smoky because my doggy's sleeping. So I'm gonna put it out. Eesh. And it helps if I have already pre-dried or semi-burnt herbs to help put it out, because the ashes help suffocate the flame. Yeah, because this one was going pretty good. Pretty quickly, too. Yeah, everything's like super dry in Colorado, so it's a lot easier. Yeah, sometimes I'll pour an orange peel. That last one just doesn't want to go out. Come on. There we go. Okay. Keep that down. This is so corny. I miss Arizona so much that I spent money on purely Sedona water. But it's green because I put my chlorophyll in it, which helps me breathe in Colorado. Craziness. And here, take my bay leaf extract, but it's all the way in the furthest back corner of my car. Yeah, that also helps me breathe better, and lower my blood pressure. Living in Colorado, the elevation has really been an adjustment for my body. We'll just say that. I know, right? I wonder if I could get some scissors today so I could trim my hair, because I've been looking at wanting to put a more blended color so it's not so choppy. And my grays are starting to come through again. Superficial stuff, I know, but I did sign this modeling contract, and they wanted me to go straight back to my natural, like, full. I'm like, I don't. So I want to find like an in-between color that'll blend it all. Because I said they don't like the what do you call it? The two-tone. I forgot the term. Ombre. They don't like the ombre look. They want one color. I'm like, oh my word. Okay. And I'm gonna have to take out my nose ring. And they didn't tell me about the nose ring or the hair color until after I signed the contract. So I'm like, psh, yeah. You know, these are the things that happen when we get caught up in emotions. And we don't step back and say, wait a minute. Okay. I need to have a list of questions before I go into these interviews. Yeah. Hindsight. Oof. But anyway, back to my original download and the emotional process. And this is the full moon and in my emotional release. Coming into relationships and understanding this whole thing that I was going through this morning. And then I've been going through for like ever, but intensely more the past 4 years. Yeah, I know. Like, why? People say, why did you move to Colorado in the middle of winter? And I'm like, I don't know. The universe wanted me to do this. And I think the main reason was so I could find Ray, my little doggy. Yeah, I'll show you my sleeping dog, but please mind the mess. I've been living in my car for a few days now because we wanted to be in town, and I had a few errands I needed to run. Like yesterday, I went to the Restore Hyper Wellness. I love that place because that's where I get to do my cryo sandwich and my sauna and my IV. Yeah, I got niacin and I forgot the other one. But I got 2 vitamins put in my IV yesterday, so it's really nice because they're both collagen related. But it's just nice because I'm 51. I know, right? Ugh. So much more effort into keeping myself balanced, you know, with energy and exercise. And I mean, eating healthy is easy because I've been doing it most of my life. But yeah, the elevation, my blood work that I got before was all wonky, and doc says I can't do it again until March 31st. So And when I went in the last time, I had just done a 3-day 2-week fasting altogether. I prepped for a week and a half, and then for like 3-ish days, I just drank water. None of my supplements or anything, because I wanted to see where my body was sitting. And then I was like, can we do my blood work since I'm on a fast? She's like, no, it's not going to show any difference. It's just going to show your sugar levels changing. It won't show a difference for a 3-month span, because certain enzymes, vitamins in your body differentiate in different ways. Some take 3 weeks, some take 6 weeks. I'm like, okay, abs. It's like, okay, that's a box answer, but I'll take it because, I know you have to deal with certain bureaucratic crap. But on the other hand, when we do discuss about things for my healthcare, we always talk about alternative medicines. She doesn't write me scripts for anything. I don't think she never even wrote me a script for an antibiotic. So that is really cool. I like that a lot. That's why I switched from the first primary care provider I had, because she gave me a script for steroids, gave me a script for antibiotics straight out the gate, had me out the door. Like, there was no real conversation. I wasn't even in the room with the doc for 20 minutes. The other one, the one I talk to now, sometimes we'll talk for 45 minutes about my healthcare plan. And we go over so many things. Like, I'm like, well, I have this issue, this issue, this issue, this issue. How do we, and she lets me pick my brain. We kind of come up with these concepts. It's like, because being in the elevated climate, my blood work was all wonky. Like, I had high white blood cells, high red blood cells, high cholesterol, but good cholesterol. So I was like, okay. And then borderline diabetic, and I was like, huh? But I'm vegan. Like, how does that work? Because the only non-vegan thing I do is honey. It's like the only sugar that I really eat, because I don't do sugar. I don't even like stevia. I rather drink plain tea than anything but honey. Yeah, the less processed foods my body goes through, the happier, healthier, more alive I feel. And honey is like one of the biggest medicines that nature gives us. I know people have a lot of controversy about it because not everybody treats bees correctly, but a lot of the bees are treated very kindly. It's just when they spray this pesticides in the air, it kills the bees, because they're not letting the natural biomes of the earth work. And I know a lot of times, especially for me when I was a kid growing up in Miami, we had to stay inside when they would spray for the mosquitoes. And I was like, okay, they're spraying for the mosquitoes. But I never thought, what about all the other insects? Do they die too, or is it just killing the mosquitoes? Because the air would be heavy with gas, and then there was no sound. Like, like you didn't really see the birds out after they sprayed or anything like that. And like when I was a kid, when it would rain, the sidewalks would be covered with worms. As an adult and it rained, there were a few. And that's what I noticed about the sprays. We had less worms. The birds didn't, but we were lucky that the air would carry it out quickly because we were by the ocean, so then the birds would come back. But they would be gone for like a little bit. It was an interesting observation. But these are cycles and patterns and things. And, they started doing the pesticide stuff when I was a kid, or maybe before, I don't know. But when I was a kid, there were a lot of worms. As an adult, there weren't that many worms. That is a very, I'm taking that example to explain life itself and the way we've been evolving and the way we've been hurting Mother Nature, because we've been so I'm trying to be very careful on how I say this. Is why I'm pausing. What I've noticed and what I've observed is, in general, we've become so attached and so conducive to comfort that we've lost our moral compass. And this is what programming wants, if you understand what that means. I want to elaborate, but that's for another video. I'm going a little too far off tangent, but not completely. It's kind of a full circle thing. So I'm gonna breathe for a minute, because I gotta let go of some of this desire to explain something that isn't quite what I was fully originally but was. So this video is more about how I've been observing relationships and dynamics of relationships, like cause and effect, emotional attachment, emotional detachment. I learned, or I understood at a very young age, that I love my emotions. I love feeling them. I love processing. I felt healthy for my healing process. But then growing up, I was told that I was dramatic, that I over accentuate things, but those opinions were coming from their programming, not my experience. Because I didn't start talking about my experiences until I was really an adult. I kept all my experiences inside myself as a child growing up into a teenager. Because being a teenager was more about acceptance, because I wanted to explore new things and making new friends. So it was more like that. And then in my 20s, when I started traveling and started finding more of my own discoveries, that's when I started taking a little more time in. But then when I get new areas, I would branch out and want to have friends, so I could understand the land I was on and the dynamics that came with it, because whenever you travel, one of the first things you're going to notice is the weather. The second thing you're going to notice is the dialect tone of the town, of the area, of the city, depending if it's a large town, small town. There's kind of like a cohesive way of thinking to that area, and even as soon as you cross state line, it shifts. You'll feel the shift, like the grouping. It's interesting. And if you say, I don't feel it, allow yourself to feel it. Give yourself permission. If there's anything that you haven't experienced yet, give yourself permission to experience it. Your dreams, your hopes, your desires, they're there for a reason, to understand certain things about yourself. And that's something I've noticed in relationships, is when people get together, they want to have a cohesiveness. So sometimes they'll let part of themselves go to have a unit. The problem is you're not really letting it go. You're suppressing it. And that suppression will come back up eventually. And it comes back up as a resentment. Which sucks, because that's never what someone's trying to do in a relationship. They're trying to get closer, not push the other person away. But that's what kind of happens with that scenario. You know, when you suppress a part of yourself, it becomes a volcano. You know, eventually it's going to erupt. No matter how long it stays dormant, eventually it's just going to pop. And you don't know the way it's bubbling down there, because it's below the surface and you suppressed it. And if you suppressed it, that means that you're not connected to that emotion. So that emotion is like, hello, knocking on the door. I'm still here. You're going to have to deal with me at some point. You might not want to do it today. You might not want to do it tomorrow. But I will come up when this door gets unlocked. I will push it open. Or I'll keep knocking as hard as I can and break the door open. Because the door is never supposed to be there. But that we put the door there so we could accommodate other people. Interesting thought, isn't it? Doors never existed in the natural world. Doors only existed in the man-made world. It wasn't until they started cutting trees to make doors. What happens when we take things away from nature? We have repercussions when we take things away from nature. That's why the world's so crazy as it is right now. Because we took too many things away from nature, and nature's like, I still need something to live with, to keep growing and flourishing. And if you try to take it all away from me, you're not going to exist anymore either. So I'm going to pull back, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do that. And then man's like, oh, wait a minute. I want to see which direction I can make you go, Mother Nature. What? You start playing against Mother Nature, eventually you're going to have such a rebellion that you're not going to be able to breathe anymore. Because Mother Nature doesn't just work with tools like saws and stuff to cut wood. It doesn't work with tools to kill. It works with tools to grow. And if we're too much in the way, we just become food for the earth, and the earth starts over. The earth gives us punishment. But if we throw this somewhere where it can't reproduce, eventually we won't have anything left. And the parts that we throw away, not just the parts that we eat, the parts that we throw away are sometimes the most beneficial parts. Like this inside part of the banana skin helps regulate your body. Study it. Read about banana peel tea. Oh man, someone's trying to call me. That means the video is going to end. I love you all so much. Remember, I love you. I love me. you love you. I take care of me, you take care of you, and we'll all be good. Mwah. I'll probably do a part 2 when I finish the mini. It's still ringing, so I got a second. As soon as it stops ringing, it'll disconnect us.